You're watching a B.A.S.S. presentation.
Welcome to Florida.
Hey, we're getting you ready for the big day in Florida. Day number 4, Championship Sunday at the FXR Pro Fish Bassmaster Elite at the St. Johns River. That was a scene. Beautiful sunrise just about to happen there. That was an hour or so ago, the takeoff time there at the City Dock in Palatka, Florida. Our headquarters. We have had, as we generally always had, just a barn burner of a tournament so far. The 20-year veteran of the Bassmaster Elite Series, Bill Lowen, on top, 5+ pounds, ahead of John Garrett, the second-year man who won last year as a rookie here in Florida. Ronnie, you followed that one closely. You followed John Garrett's career a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. And sorry I've been missing the last few days. You can tell I'm a little hoarse. I've been yelling at some basketball games. But looking at the top of the leaderboard, Bill Lowen, 21 pounds a day, exactly around that 70, high 70s, low 80s that we expect. Takes about 16 pounds a day for us to make the top 10 with Gerald Swindle in 10th place. Some familiar faces, like you said, John Garrett, who won last year at the Harris Chain. Corey Johnston, who won last year at this body of water. Guys like Whitaker and Swindle, who have done very well in the state of Florida.
Corey and Jake rocketing up the leaderboard on day number 3. We always have stories like that in this place because of the power of a big fish, and we saw some good big fish yesterday. There's Corey Johnson, last year's champion, who didn't look like he was going to make it to our top 10 today, but put on a great day. Bill Lowen, the leader, and all our anglers very anxious. Only 10 left on this final day. We started with a full field of 104, cut it to 50 for yesterday's semifinal round, and now we're down to a really great top 10, including first day leader in third place, Jay Shakurit. So we will listen now to what some of our anglers amongst that top 10, that vaunted top 10, have to think about today's efforts.
Ready to catch some bass. Throwing a jerk bait on fry garters. Meticulously slow on scope. Having to make the same cast 374,000 times in a row. But hey, some of them males are big, man. I'm going to do my job. I can't win, but hey, I'm going to go try to catch 19 and just see if you can move up just a little, you know. If you do, good. If you don't, you know, you just do what you can do. But don't try to get all crazy with it and go out there and black out. I'm going to go throw a glide bait down the middle of the lake. People said, you can't fall back any. No, but I can move up. But if you do something dumb, you're not guaranteed you're not going to move up.
You know, every day out here on the St. John's has been different. I've had a different game plan every single day. Day one, I sight fished, you know, that big bag I had, that 25 pounds. That was what, you know, kind of got me into the position I'm in. But alongside of that, I also sight fished some more on day 2, and then I started mixing it up and fishing in some canals. You know, some fry guarding fish, some fish that were just roaming in the canals, and some fish that I just caught, you know, just on a little ocho, just skipping that around some boat docks. It was really just a complete junk fishing tournament after that big first day I had, just because that area kind of fizzled out on me. We had that one really cold night after day number 1, and no new fish really showed up in that area. I did catch one decent one there. A nice 3-something pounder, but after that just had to completely go on a whim and start going and fishing canals. I had some really good success fishing in canals in practice, so that was my backup plan after the big bag I caught. And hopefully today, you know, I may revisit that area that I caught that big bag on day number 1 later this afternoon. So hopefully there's some big girls still in there ready to play, and looking forward to day 4.
Man, looking forward to getting back there, but we have a little penalty box time. Yesterday, I had a little live well stuff going on. Had a lot of current down there, and I think I put it on pad a little too early. It's 30-mile-an-hour zones down in that Astor area. It'd be 30-mile-an-hour zone, a small no wake. 30-mile-an-hour zone, small no wake. And I think I just was all jacked up by those fish and where to get back, and I think I cruised past one of those no wake zones. So, honest mistake, didn't mean to do it at all, but we got a little 30-minute delay for the day, and that school's going to have to wait on me for another 30 minutes. I'm hoping they're still there. If they're still there and I could get 5 to bite, things could get interesting. Like I said, yesterday was special though. We had the right water flow, right conditions. Those fish were biting, haven't been messed with before. I messed with them a little bit yesterday, and probably not the same water flow, but we'll go back with high hopes and see if we can get 5 in the boat.
Today?
Well, the plan is to try to go and catch the biggest bag that we can. I know I'm around the right size fish. Just got to be fortunate enough to get the right bites. The key here this week for me has definitely been the tide. When that tide window gets right is when I catch my bigger than average size fish. The tide gets later and later every day. It started at 11 one day, it's 12. Today the tide's going to get right about 1 o'clock, and I got to be back at 3. So we're really getting a really short window to capitalize on those big bites. But we're just going to go out. I'm fishing in my comfort zone. I'm fishing the way I love to fish, and I'm having fun. After last year being my worst season ever, this year being to start off this year the way that we've started off with a top 10, I can't complain. If I don't catch a bass today, I've had a great event, but the plan is to go out and catch a big bag.
Tournament leader Bill Lowen, along with second place John Garrett, third place Jay Shakurin, and Gerald Swindle offering a very important comment here. Once you've made this top 10 today, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, Such, you're starting your campaign for the year of amassing points that defines your success this year. You don't have to worry about someone jumping up and knocking you further down the list. You have done some important work by getting here today.
Yeah, but you always want to get as much as you can. So there's guys today, John Cox, Patrick Walters, Corey Johnson, who want to get up there and go for the win. I mean, it's possible. We've seen it here. Rick Clun, the guy sitting where Ronnie's sitting right now, came back from almost 12 pounds in 2019.
That's what I was going to say, Such, we have a cram-packed top 10 with some of the best anglers, not only in this body of water, but just in general in careers. Walters, Johnston, all of these different guys, Cox, that have done so well here. But think about Gerald Swindle being 15 pounds back. He catches 31, 32 pounds, and Bill catches 17. He's right there, and he's only 10 pounds back from second place. So it's not like they have to catch a small bag either. They still have to catch a decent bag if someone breaks 30.
Yeah, Davey put it very well yesterday. Bill can't go out there and catch a limited 2-pounders and expect to win this thing.
Not at all.
But his plan, I mean, if he were to come through and win, pretty good pregame plan to go to a deep water area where the cold snap wasn't going to affect the fish as much, and then he's fishing how he likes, and he's been doing it.
Yesterday we were expecting sunshine all day, did not get much sunshine. Today looks very different. This looks like the true post-frontal day today, but we should be out of some of those conditions now.
Yeah, and this tournament is kind of blueprinted by that 2020 event that Paul Mueller won. The weather was really cold and terrible. We had canceled days due to wind and other things. And obviously it became a lower weight event. Bill has paced the field with this higher weight, almost 2 pounds per day better than everyone else on average. But this is the same pattern, north of Palatka, deeper because it's been colder. But leading up to this tournament, this is a little shocking to me because of how warm it's been here and how stable it's been here, that those other places weren't. They were more affected than I thought they'd be by this cold front compared to places like this that, I think there's a ceiling on some of these places north, but obviously.
I remember Davey called that this event in 2020 could be won north of our takeoff in Palatka, and he nailed it. And I don't know if he called it this week, but there's been a lot of guys taking a left turn out of the takeoff and doing pretty well.
Tide also a factor. Bill would be the first one to admit that. He said he really didn't get on his big fish in here the last 3 days until the tide got right. A falling tide gets right. And of course, it's going to be later every day. He's going to have to wait it out. In fact, he thought he might catch a little bit of the other side early this morning.
And we'll absolutely show you on the Deep Dive app at the Screen of Knowledge those tides and how, for Bill, it'll be much sooner than the guys down south that'll even see the tide or even feel the tide.
Yeah, you got to think about that as well. We're dealing with 100-plus miles of fishing territory here for our 10 anglers on this day. Patrick Walters, always a threat down here from the very first time he appeared in the Elite Series, finished 4th place here on the St. Johns River.
I'm trying to really think of events where Patrick Walters has done bad, Tommy. It's kind of harder to do that than a river.
Yeah, it's easier to make a list of that for sure.
It's Home Lake that one time.
that one time. I think that 1 hour he didn't catch a bass for 1 hour one day or something like that, I think.
A bit of fog. I mean, I'm thankful that we got our tournament underway.
Yes.
This is a notorious place for having fog delays, and we're good. There's your defending champion, Corey Johnston. You thought he might not be a factor this year until yesterday, and he put on a big rise up the leaderboard.
Came up from 37th. Of course, Garrett came up from 38th. We had Whitaker was 30th after 2 days. So the possibility of a rally is certainly here at the St. John.
Oh, absolutely.
Take a look at some footage from Brock Mosley yesterday. Well, this is today, it looks like.
So I wasn't with y'all the last 3 days, but I was paying attention. And for him to pull up to a mat and punch through and mutter under his breath, "I've caught a 6-pounder here before," and then not even before he says his last words, sets the hook and catches a 7-1 or whatever it weighed at the weigh-in. Absolutely phenomenal.
Something tells me we'll see that again today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we demand that, as a matter of fact. If it's anything like the past 3 days, this final day, Championship Sunday on the St. Johns River, is going to be magnificent and could be a battle down to the very last fish. Coverage starts on FS1 just moments away here, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll go for 3 minutes there and continues later on. Bassmaster.com, Roku as well. We're glad you're up with us on this Sunday morning. Stick around and we will get it underway, the championship round.